Good morning students. Today we are going to see in term 2 unit 1 Vijayanagar and Bahmani kingdom. So first we are going to see the introduction, the next foundation of Vijayanagar empire, third the rise of Salwa dynasty, fourth about Krishnadevaraya, fifth about Battle of Talekota. First introduction. The political condition of India in the 14th century provide great opportunities for the rise of new kingdoms in the south. So during the 14th century there were so many opportunities for the rise of new kingdoms in the South India. The repressive measures, so the measures taken by the Muslim king Muhammad bin Tughlaq led to the rise of many new independent states. So because of him only many new independent states came into existence. In the south, Vijayanagar and Bahmani emerged as two great kingdoms. Bahmani kingdom spread all over Maharashtra and partly over Karnataka. The state of Vijayanagar continued to flourish for nearly 200 years. So Bahmani kingdom spread all over Maharashtra and partly over Karnataka. In 1565, the Battle of Talekota could succeed in crushing the Vijayanagar Empire. So the Battle of Talekota made end to the Vijayanagar Empire. Next we are going to see foundation of Vijayanagar Empire. So Vijayanagar, the meaning is nothing but the city of victory, was established in southern kingdom by two brothers named Harihara and Bukka. So Vijayanagar was established by two brothers. According to one tradition, Vidyaranya, head of the Saivite, and Sringeri Mutt instructed them to service to the Tughlaq and rescue the country from Muslim authority. So the two brothers followed two different traditions, and one tradition was nothing but Vidyaranya who headed the thing, and Saivaita Sringeri wanted the entire dynasty to be rescued from the Muslim authority. The new kingdom was called Vijayanagar for a time in honor of the spiritual teacher Vidyaranya. Later it is called as Vijayanagar. So in the remembrance of our spiritual teacher Vidyaranya, it was called as Vijayanagar and later it has been renamed as Vijayanagar. Next thing we are going to see is kingdoms in Vijayanagar Empire. So there were so many kingdoms in Vijayanagar Empire, and under four dynasty, namely Sangama, that has been started from 1336 till 1485, and Saluva, it was ruled from 1485 to 1505, and Tuluva dynasty from 1505 to 1570, Aravidu dynasty 1570 to 1646. The fertile region between the river Krishna and Tungabhadra and the Krishna Godavari were the zones of conflicts among the ruler of Vijayanagar Empire. The two brothers protected the new kingdom from the superior forces of the Bahmani Sultanate, which had been established about a decade after the foundation of Vijayanagar Empire. So the Vijayanagar Empire extended between the rivers of Krishna, Tungabhadra and Godavari. The two brothers who protected the kingdom from the Bahmani Sultanate, and which had been established for a decade for the foundation of Vijayanagar Empire. So the two brothers played a major role to protect the Vijayanagar Empire, and they led the foundation of the Vijayanagar Empire. Rise of Saluva dynasty. When Bukka died, he had left a large territory to his son Harihara II to rule. Harihara II's impressive achievement was securing Belgaum, Goa from the Bahmani kingdom. So Bukka, after the death of Bukka, he left so many territory to his son Harihara II. So Harihara II's main achievement was to secure Belgaum and Goa from the Bahmani kingdom. Harihara's son Devaraya I defeated Gajapati, king of Odisha. So Harihara's son Devaraya I defeated Gajapati, who was a king of Odisha. His successor Devaraya II was the greatest ruler of Sangama dynasty. So after the death of Devaraya II, the Vijayanagar Empire went through crisis. So there were many quarrels between the empires. The able commander of Vijayanagar Empire, Saluva Narasimha, making use of this situation and declared himself the emperor after murdering the last ruler of Sangama dynasty. So after the death of Bukka, he left his territory to his son Harihara II. Harihara II extended his empire through Belgaum, Goa from the Bahmani Sultanate. So Harihara's son Devaraya I also defeated Gajapati, the king of Odisha, and extended his kingdom till Odisha. So after the death of Devaraya II, there were so many crises in the Vijayanagar Empire. So, in making use of this situation, Saluva Narasimha declared himself as the emperor after murdering the last ruler of Sangama dynasty. Next, we are going to see about Krishnadevaraya. Krishnadevaraya, who reigned for 20 years, was the most illustrious ruler of the Tuluva dynasty. So, after the end of Sangama dynasty, Krishnadevaraya ruled for 20 years and he was an illustrious ruler of Tuluva dynasty. His first step was, after ascending the throne, was to bring under control the independent chieftains in the Tungabhadra river basin. So, he wanted all the control to become under Tungabhadra river basin. After succeeding that, his main target was Gulbarga. So, after the entire thing to become under Tungabhadra river basin, the second thing was to target Gulbarga. Similarly, he forced war on Prataparudra, the Gajapati ruler of Odisha. So, he forced war on Prataparudra. He was a Gajapati ruler of Odisha. But he did not like war. He negotiated for peace and offered to marry off his daughter to him. So, accepting that offer, Krishnadevaraya married her daughter. Krishnadevaraya, with the assistance of Portuguese gunner, could easily defeat Sultan of Golconda and subsequently take Raichur from the ruler of Bijapur. So, with the help of Portuguese, he defeated the Sultan of Golconda and subsequently take Raichur from the ruler of Bijapur. The next thing we are going to see is how Krishnadevaraya was a great builder. He built huge irrigation tank and reservoirs for harvesting rainwater. He built the famous temple of Krishnaswamy, Hazara Ramaswamy and Vittalaswamy in the capital city of Hampi. He recruited a large army and built many strong forts. He had good friendly relationship with the Portuguese and Arabia traders, which increased the empire's income through customs. So, he was a great builder by constructing many irrigation tanks and reservoirs. So, he built so many famous temples in the capital city of Hampi. He required many armymen to build strong forts. Next, we are going to see patron of literature, art and architecture. Krishnadevaraya patronized art and literature. 8 eminent luminaries in literature known as Ashtadigajas. So, 8 eminent luminaries in literature were known as Ashtadigajas. Adorned his court. Alasani Peddana was the greatest of them all. Another notable figure was Tenali Ramakrishna. So, he had contributed many for art and literature. 8 eminent luminaries in literature were known as Ashtadigajas. Next, we are going to see Battle of Talekota 1565. Krishnadevaraya was succeeded by the younger brother Achyuta Devaraya. In the meantime, the Sultan of Deccan Kingdoms, so the Sultans of Deccan Kingdom succeeded in forming a league. So, they together joined a league to fight against the Vijayanagar Empire. So, both the forces, the Krishnadevaraya force and the Deccan Kingdom forces met at Talekota. Vijayanagar was defeated. The beautiful carving and sculptures were desecrated. All the buildings, places and temples were destroyed. The glorious Vijayanagar Empire was seized and came into exist. Next, we are going to see Aravidu dynasty. Ramaraya was killed on the battlefield of Talekota and his brother Tirumala Devaraya managed to escape along with the king Sadasivaraya. Tirumala Devaraya moved to Chandagiri carrying all the treasures and wealth that could be salvaged. Thus, he began the rule of Aravidu dynasty. So, he carried all his wealth to Chandagiri and started the rule of Aravidu dynasty. The Aravidu dynasty built a new capital at Penukonda and kept the empire intact for a time. So, the new capital was Penukonda.